Hello, Al Pals. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents, a Big Al retro review where I take a look at a classic film and give you my thoughts on it. Usually it's a film that I have seen many years ago, but today something different. This is an older film that I watched just for the first time a few days ago and wanted to share my thoughts on it. And what film is that, you may ask? Prom Night from 1980, the classic slasher film. I cannot believe it took me this long to get around to seeing this film. But before I do my official review, of course, spoiler warning, there may be a few plot points that appear in this review. I'm sorry, it's kind of unavoidable for this one, but I'll try not to give too much away. But anyway, my official review of Prom Night. A group of high school students prepare for prom, but soon find themselves targeted by a killer seeking revenge for the death of a young girl several years earlier. Prom Night is rightfully considered a classic slasher film by fans of the genre, but often gets overlooked due to the lack of an iconic killer like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, or Jason Voorhees. Despite this, Prom Night is a well-crafted and gripping mystery film. Modern audiences may find the plot formulaic, though it can be said this film helped set the formula that many slashers would emulate. The greatest aspect of this film is the performance of Jamie Lee Curtis, the it girl of horror films in the late 70s and 80s. She makes the character of Kimberly Hammond engaging and likable, the typical girl next door at heart. Curtis imbues her with realistic teenage angst, boyfriend and frenemy issues, and all that other kind of stuff that teens go through. Her acting during the film's climax is emotionally raw, especially during the killer's reveal. Leslie Nielsen also appears in this film, giving one of his final dramatic performances before redefining his career as a comedic actor. The remainder of the cast give fine, though unremarkable performances. The film is brilliantly edited, and the filmmakers take their time to develop the story and the characters before the mayhem begins. Even though the primary slashing action of the film takes a while to begin, once the killer goes on the rampage, the story becomes quite engrossing. Though the storytellers do their best to keep the viewers from guessing who the killer may be, the more astute and intellectual viewer should have a good idea of the killer's identity. Thankfully, knowing or suspecting who the killer may be does add emotional weight to the anticipation of the reveal. Prom Night is an appealing slasher classic that deserves its place of honor in the horror genre. If the film has somehow escaped your attention as a horror fan, it may finally be time to enjoy Prom Night. Just remember, if you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home. 3.5 out of 5 stars. That is my official review and rating for Prom Night. I hope you enjoyed my official review there. Of course, I like to kind of do some rambling here at the end. I am shocked that it took me this long to finally see this movie. Having come out in 1980 and liking these films as much as I do, this one just kind of got lost in the pack, kind of, because it didn't have that, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have a Michael Myers or a Freddy or a Jason or a maniac cop or a sleepaway camp kind of twist. This is much more regular Joe killer. No supernatural, no strange weapon or anything like that. There's a motivation here, and like I said, if you are fairly astute, you will figure out who the killer is quite early on. And even though I did figure it out, it didn't really take away from my enjoyment of the film. In fact, it gave it more emotional poignancy when the climax is happening and the end of the film. It packs more of an emotional punch than other films of the genre. And yes, it's very formulaic, but remember, this is 42 years ago, and it did kind of help set that formula for films that would follow. So Prom Night, definitely a classic, definitely worth watching, if for anything, Jamie Lee Curtis's performance. She was fantastic in this film, and it was a joy to see Leslie Nielsen. If you only know Leslie Nielsen from Airplane and Naked Gun, it's quite different watching him in a serious role. Uh, and in this one, he plays Jamie Lee Curtis's father and the principal of the school. That's why he's in it for a little bit. It's not a major role, but he's a name, so he does get a good billing in it. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you found something in it that may lead you to watch this film. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Big Al Presents, I hope you do so. More reviews, rewatches, and rambles in the weeks and months to come. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with the horror fans out there who may not have ever had a chance to appreciate Prom Night. This may get people to watch this classic film if they have missed it, like I had until just recently. But whatever you are deciding to watch, I hope you enjoy it. Always remember, watch what you want and don't let anybody try to tell you different. Take care, everyone, and until next time, just think to yourself, what would Big Al watch? I'm trying that for a new kind of a tagline. I hope you enjoyed it. What would Big Al watch? WWBAW? Question mark. Trademark. Goodbye, everyone. Till next time.